pleasure. It is always a pleasure knowing that you're on the other side when we talk to you on this side. The station is Atlantic Television Network, and of course the program is Atlantic Blowout. And as always, Atlantic Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network that features chit-chats and conversations on special interest topics, news, events and stories through correspondent report, expert opinion and stakeholders analysis. We have a lot on our table for you, really hot topics in Nigeria. We're taking to Blowout today. We have this story coming from the presidency. We've been taking this in series, and this is the update on this one, where the president himself has ordered the release of the End Bad Governance minors. This is good news to a lot of people. While I was having this conversation with someone yesterday, and he was saying, this is not what we're looking for. And I'm like, what? Why would you even say that? People have been calling for the president to intervene, and he has finally intervened. And not just that, there's more to that story, but we'll bring you the details where we delve into it. And then still on the economy and the statement of the president, Tinubu announces deductions in debt servicing ratio. And then on crime, we have reports that EFCC arrests Okowa over alleged diversion of 1.3 trillion naira. On petroleum, Nopeng disowns Marketers Association, and they have issued public warning that they have no business or no connection with this particular association. And then on national prayer, Atiku criticizes Tinubu's religious approach to governance, asking what is the relationship between prayer and actual governance. He actually gave a sarcastic comment on that one. And then on entertainment, one of the hottest topics since yesterday, Bobrisky leaves Nigeria amidst legal issues. Why? How? People are asking what happened. Well, you know, Bobrisky would not keep quiet about what is going on in his life. He'll always bring it to the media, and that's why he has been having issues recently. But remember that we are open for advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, product, service promotions and commercials. You can connect with us on all of our IT and socials. On Facebook and YouTube, we are Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok, we are Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, you can call us Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website at www.atlanticnetwork.tv. All right, we're going to show a break, and after that, I will introduce my guests. I have one of my guests in the studio seated with me, and we'll be taking another guest via Zoom. My name is Enidoye Jackson. Thank you so much for standing by. Let's move straight to our stories, but that's after I let you know that. And this one, like I said, is good news to some Nigerians, but people are still asking for more, though. We have reports that the president. Okay, we have Kenneth back. Kenneth, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jack.
All right, welcome. Welcome. And let's move to our first story. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the immediate release of all minors who were detained for participating in the recent #EndBadGovernance protest. This directive was communicated by Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information, during a press briefing on Monday. Tinubu instructed Attorney General Lateef Fagbemi to ensure that the minors are released without delay, showing the President's commitment to respecting the rights of young Nigerians despite ongoing legal processes. The President's decision followed public backlash and concerns over the well-being of minors detained in connection with the protest. The incident has drawn widespread criticism after 76 protesters, many of whom were minors, were charged with treason, and reports of minors appearing in court malnourished and unwell heightened calls for intervention. We saw videos of them fainting. And Tinubu has also directed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to ensure that the minors receive necessary care and are safely reunited with their families. Additionally, an administrative committee will investigate the arrest and treatment of these minors, as well as conduct of law enforcement officers involved in the whole process. Disciplinary measures will be carried out if misconduct is found in any way. All right, I would like to bring my guest in studio in on this one to find out what he really thinks about the update on this end bad governance minors.
Okay, first of all, I want to commend the president for his effort in ordering for the release of these minors. But I think it's coming a bit late in the sense that these persons have been in detention for over 60 days. You know, let's take a look at what really prompted the arrest of these minors. You know, these are persons that came out to protest, to carry out their constitutional right amidst the hunger, the hardship that is biting, that is ravaging the country. You see, I don't know the rationale why the security agents arrested these persons and took them in detention. You see, and where they took these minors to, were homes, the place for adults. You see, in developed countries, what happened is that when minors are being convicted for crimes, they take them to juvenile homes. They take them to homes where they are exposed to some kind of psychological test and counseling. You see, but it's very regrettable that that these minors we are taken to home, we are taken to prison where we have adults, so to say, exposing them to some level of dangers, and it's very, very regrettable. But having said that, I want to commend the president. It's better late than never.
And then when you said you don't know why they were taken up or why they were arrested, it was during the End Bad Governance protest. And if you follow that story, you know that there was a time when there were reports about Russian flags being raised during the protest, and that was treason. They were charged for treason and all of that. But let's bring Kenneth into this conversation. Kenneth, what do you think about this story?
Yeah, taking up from what you just said now, that the reason why people were charged because of treason. So I want to understand, you know, these are minors. They might not even understand the consequences of raising up a foreign flag in Nigeria. So charging them with treason is like, is number one, it's an offense, because you are charging someone with what he or she doesn't even know about. Then come to think of it, we are there giving an opportunity to get an attorney that will speak on their behalf. Because I think before you charge someone to a court or take someone to a cell, you have to tell the person that he or she has the right to an attorney, you know, if you explain yourself better. But I think they are not given that opportunity, that privilege, you know, to get an attorney, to get a lawyer to stand on their behalf and talk. You know, it was, if not for the circumstances relating to very dark man going to prison, to the cell, to stay with them, we wouldn't have known about these people. And I heard someone say 60 days. I believe some people were saying they were there for 90 days. It's very, very bad that we treat our minors like this. You know, first of all, like what the guest in the studio has said, they should have been taken to a rehabilitation center, because most of them might need just answering, like he said, you know, the what is it called again? Maybe a little pieces of advice here and there can put them in order. But taking them into prison, but yeah, it's commendable that the president has ordered for their release, which is awesome, which is very, very laudable. Please, I really commend you for that. But let us be careful, because how can you take people? Your friends was committed in a northern area in another place. They were taken to Abuja, all the way from their state where this thing happened. So they're transporting these kids to, and I saw a defense a lawyer coming out to say that those people are not minors, and some of them are married men. So I begin to wonder, why don't we have just singularity of a story, a report? You get, why should we also have divergent views on this thing? We can see them, we can see these people, and we know that these people are below 18 years, 16, some are 14, 13, man, 20. So I believe that beginning from now, that things should be good. We should look at our minors and parents too. Why are these parents not even complaining that their children are missing? That is another question we need to ask ourselves. Because we saw the kids, none of them in Nigeria have been saying, I'm looking for my child, I can't find him, he went for a protest and he hasn't come back.
We really can't tell that. We really can't tell that none of them have been saying that. And the families of those who were arrested would definitely be aware that their loved ones have been arrested. But if you look at those children, like some people were saying, the 10 million naira bill, they don't look like they can handle it, you know. That's why some Nigerians were calling for the help or the assistance or the intervention of the president in this case. Because then you'd wonder how much you expected their parents to have done with the states that they are in. So we cannot really say that their parents did not call for the release of their children.
You know, for the such number of children we saw, I think the number that should be up to 30 or 40. So with such kind of reverberating voice, you know, all of them talking, speaking, everybody is saying the same thing. I believe they were all taken from the state. So that voice must have counted. But we didn't hear anything about that. Nobody. So I want to believe that, no, what I'm saying is that we should, parents should actually be looking out for their kids. Yes, because most times these parents might not even care less about what is happening around them. They might just be nonchalant. So I'm saying, if we are blaming the government, we also should blame parents. Should also be, you know, be cautioned about these things. They should be asked, where are your kids? The kids are out there. What have you been doing? You know, so let's just look out for each other. Let's be our brother's keeper. That is what I'm saying.
All right. Some lawyers and some Nigerians are still calling for the release of the other protesters that are in custody. So since your analysis and the analysis of my guests in the studio will be mentioning, oh, because they are minors, they should be released because they're minors. So what about the other people who are not minors? Do we still call for the release of the other protesters who were arrested? Let me come to Alerichi in the studio.
Okay, I think the other protesters should be released unconditionally.
Why?
Unconditionally because these are persons who came out to protest. They are there to exercise him. They are there to exercise their right. You understand? They have the constitutional right to protest. So they should be released unconditionally. Because I don't think there is anybody in this country that is not abreast with the issue that's going on in the country. The truth is that the times are challenging. There's a kind of economic meltdown. So I believe this is what prompted these persons to come out to protest peacefully.
But that's if they were arrested for protesting. According to the reports that we get, they're not telling us that these people are arrested because they protested.
So what are they telling us in essence?
That's what I explained earlier to you, the reason that they are holding on to. You know, sometimes during the protest, it was hijacked in some states. Although it was peaceful in some other states, like in Rio State, it was okay. There were no complaints about, you know, violence like it was recorded in other states. And then where they held them down was when they lifted the Russian flag. And then there are reports about them, you know, those people being sponsored. And according to the police, that's why they had to pick them up.
Okay. I didn't see any video as evidence to that.
There were actually videos. But let's hear Kenneth on this one.
I think everybody should be given that free trial. They should be released, because there have just been a mix-up from the onset. The arrest was not even explained very well to them, you see. So even if some of them are both minors or some of them are adults, everybody should just let us say that they have joined the bandwagon, you see. So even if some persons were not even if they are adults and we still have minors, see that minors are suffering themselves. So I believe, since the president has said that, they should just all go and follow what the instruction of the president has said, that they should be released. So furthermore, they should be educated, there should be a rehabilitation center. Now, let's know why these things happen. Let's focus on the problem. Let's not treat it from the surface level. Because I believe most times what brings about these things, like you say, is hunger, hardship, economic degradation, poor education and all that. So let's tackle these problems. Let's seek more to educate these people before it leaves, because if we start giving them the hard measures that they are receiving, some of them might be doing this thing in total ignorance. And if you check it, we are to be blamed, the government, the parents and everything. So since the president has said so, please let us allow them.
It's the minors. The president asked for the release of the minors and not all the protesters. So let's be guided on that.
There was no differentiation between those people. They were all regarded as minors.
There was no differentiation by who?
Yes, they were all regarded as minors.
So that means, what you're trying to say is that it's not out of place when it was stated that some of them, those people are not minors, that they're married with children, they are graduates. Because you just said that they are all regarded as minors. It means both the people who were not minors and those who are minors were regarded as minors. And that's what the president is saying, release everybody. But that's not actually what the case is. And that's why there's an extra call. That's why there's an extra call for everybody to be released.
Yes, exactly. Everybody should not be released so that they can go home. Because we know what caused this thing. Somebody will not come out to do that thing intentionally. They say in Igbo adage, they say the only thing that beats a child in the presence of his mom is hunger. So when someone is hungry, someone is angry. A hungry man is an angry man. So please, we should just let it go like that.
Thank you, Kenneth.
I'm following the support of what.
All right, let's move on to our next story that's still talking about President Bola Tinubu recently announcing a significant improvement in Nigeria's debt service to revenue ratio, which has decreased from 97% to 65%. Speaking at a swearing-in ceremony of 7 newly appointed ministers, Tinubu emphasized this progress as a key indicator of Nigeria's economic recovery. He noted that a 97% debt service to revenue ratio had previously placed the country on a precarious financial edge, but the current reduction to 65% reflects a positive shift, allowing Nigeria to meet both foreign and domestic debt obligations more effectively. Tinubu expressed optimism about the nation's economic future, emphasizing the government's commitment to long-term goals for future generations. He also acknowledged ongoing economic challenges, including high cost of living, highlighted efforts to implement a new minimum wage. He urged new ministers to collaborate in tackling these urgent economic issues. And the newly appointed ministers include, all of their names were mentioned, down to the Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction Minister, Yowata, and Mohammed Maigari, the Labor and Employment, Bianca Ojuku, State for Foreign Affairs, Jumoke Oduwole, Industry, Trade and Investment, and all of them were mentioned down to the livestock development, state for education and all that. But let's go back to the president's statement on the debt reduction and the fact that, it looks like the economy is coming to a better light. We get reports like this a lot of times, and then later on we find out that it's not equivalent to what we are seeing in the society. So Nigerians, when you tell them stories like this, the first question they ask you is, how does it affect the price of garri in the market? All right, let's bring Elerichi on this one.
Okay. First of all, let me acknowledge, let me thank the president for acknowledging the fact that there's an economic hardship during his speech. You see, most times we have heard some of these things, both in the previous government, both in this recent government, where they come out and tell us that things are getting better, things are improving, but at the end of the day, you see that it will just all are just fallacy. You understand? So,
but he's giving us facts. You know, when these comments are made or when these statements are made, they are you're backing it up with facts. They're showing you the figures and everything, and you're seeing it that there have actually been a reduction.
Any fact that doesn't affect the well-being of the citizenry, of the common man, I don't think that fact is.
The fact is not factual.
It's not factual. You see, there's been increase in high cost of things, both production, both in the market, every now and then. So for me, I don't think this fact is really factual, like I said. So until it affects the life of the common man, that is when I will start to believe all these statistics are being real out.
All right, but do you believe that steps are being taken to, make us come out of the hardship that we have said that Nigerians are in?
For now, I've not seen any positive steps. I've not seen any positive steps that have been taken to get us out of this economic downturn.
All right. Kenneth, your 2 cents.
Yeah. Yes, I'm also in line with what is happening, because if the common man cannot feel the improvements in the economy,
we can barely hear you, Kenneth.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Better.
Can you hear me?
Better. Go on.
Okay, so what thing that I'm saying, if the common man on the streets doesn't feel the impact of this reduction in debt service ratio, that means we are still where we are. So what I'm saying is that it's a good step in the right direction, with the fact, and I think some persons like Atiku came to even negate this fact. He was saying during this time, we did not do that, But we saw the prices of things during Atiku's regime with the Obasanjo and Yaradua and other persons, where we have then a petrol, a liter of petrol being sold for 1.5. Garri was about 40,000, 30,000, 50,000, but now it's 90,000, it's 80,000. So rice, the same thing, rice I'm saying, rice 90,000, 80,000, some has even got into 100,000. So when these prices of things in the market is being affected, then we can now say, okay, these things are, but it's a good one. Since they're no longer servicing debt with a huge amount of money, it's actually good. So we are saying that the fuel subsidy, the thing is making an impact, is what they are saying. So for this thing to be factual, I think, like, they should be given an update. The money being gotten from the fuel subsidy and all that we have, where it's going into, how it's making an impact. Once you see traceability, transparency, accountability, that is when the citizens can believe in these things. But if we don't see all these things, we don't hope at the end that, okay, if the prices of things doesn't go down in the market, then we are still where we are as a people.
But you agree that this doesn't just happen overnight? These are things that take time, yes.
So yeah, it's a good one. So that is what we are waiting. It's commendable. The president is sounding his trumpet, is blowing that, yeah, but we want to feel the impact of that on the lives of the people. Yes, because if we are still hungry, we cannot rejoice with him. He might be the only one rejoicing with this.
He might be the only one rejoicing. Not really. People who really understand what it means. Looking at the difference in the percentage, you find out that this is a large reduction.
I'm talking about the common man on the streets. If you check just the people that understand these things, there might be people that are comfortable. You know, we are talking about if the government is for the people and by the people, there are the people on the street that should be the checks and balancing of these things. You should use them as a yardstick to know if you're actually headed somewhere. A bag of rice cannot be 100,000. You are telling me the economy is good, that we are getting there. A pint of garri cannot be 2,500. I am telling pepper cannot be sold for 500. So these are the things we check. You know, the dollar rate and the naira rate, you see, they are still the gap. Just so we check these things. We don't check people that understand, people that went to school, the intellectuals, the rich. No, we're not looking at those. We're looking at the common man on the street that cannot really know a dollar. You know, look at the minimum wage, look at all that. Okay, let's not go there anyway. But we are saying it is a good step in the right direction. It should keep it up. You know, it should continue. But we want to feel this thing in the lives of the common man on the street. That is when we can actually all rejoice. Because if one person rejoices and many are not rejoicing, then we haven't won yet.
All right. When we look at the fact that we have to give it time before we start seeing the results, we'll also look at some things that might get to halt the process or some things that might slow it down. And that's when we talk about things like the fact that we're still taking loans. We're not done taking loans as a nation. And I've asked this question before. Can a nation thrive without really taking loans? Can we just get to that point where we just focus on what we have in our nation? You know, focus on our production, making it better and things like that. But time and time again, I've gotten the same answer. But I would ask my guests in the studio that particular question, what you think about the fact that we're still taking loans, even though this looks like, you know, a step that it looks like it's in the right direction, but we're still taking loans. But is it out of place for a nation to take loans?
Okay, for me, I don't think it is out of place for a nation to take loans.
So what is the issue?
Okay, the issue is I think issue of accountability and making judicious use
of the
loans. You see, you know, there have been time and time where we take loans, and at the end of the day, we don't know where those loans go into. Maybe they take loan to construct maybe rail. At the end of the day, we can't see it being effectively used to construct that rail. We take loan for construction of maybe roads. At the end of the day, you see those roads are not being constructed; they are abandoned, and the worst of it all is that the government have not really gone after these persons to open a proper probe in making sure that they find out how these monies that were borrowed, how they were used.
But the House of Representatives did that recently. They're in it currently. They want to start the probe from 1999 to check our debt servicing, how far we've gone with that. And then same Nigerians were saying it's too late and that's not what we need right now. Let's focus on the real problem of the country.
Now the House of Reps that are opening the probe, are they innocent of this?
Big question.
And that's a very big question. Are they innocent of this? These are persons that have been, some of them were former, maybe council chairman, former this, former that, former this, former that. So at the end of the day, all of them are just on one page. So for me, I think taking loan is not out of place.
Right.
But I really think that how they spend these loans
is what matters. Kenneth.
Yeah, we just need to balance it. If taking a loan is not making us to see what we actually have, I think sometimes we just need to hold on and let us not be too quick to take loans. And taking loan is not really bad. It's not a very bad idea. But let's see the consequences of this. It has been telling too much on our economy. Nigeria is not a production country. We don't produce anything. We consume. So why is that so? Because we easily get loan whenever we want to take it. It's there. The IMF is always there to give us this loan. So we really need to start looking inwards. There are a lot of things that we have. We have all the mineral resources. We have everything that we need as a country to survive. If you look at this oil palm, the Malaysian oil palm seedlings, it was in Nigeria here that it was taken. You know, before it was red oil that we were exporting in the 1950s and 1960s, before crude oil now came aboard and all that. Now look at the oil palm. We are now importing oil palm in our country. Is it not a shame? So there are some things that we cannot be talking about loans where people are talking about how we can export, how we can produce. Let's look inwards. To me, if I'm being told, I will say, let's just halt these incessant loans taking and let's look inwards and see what we can do as a nation. Let's see what we can do. Some people see.
Have we not been looking inward? Does it mean we've not been looking inward to see what we can do as a nation when we have ministers that are in charge of the different sectors in the country?
The ratio of reduction in the states, the ratio of looking inwards, and the level of how we get these loans are not really tallying. They don't equate each other. It should be 7/3, or how is it called? The proportion should be higher. We should look more than getting loans. But if you check the loans that we have got, we're able servicing the loan, which means before we can even get out of those loan servicing, might even take us a very long while. It will not be our children coming to inherit these things. Why can't we just halt it for now? Take the boot that we have. Like what this fuel subsidy is doing now, you see, they're no longer giving fuel subsidy as we believe from the ordinary citizens. They are telling them to hold on, to endure, right? So that the money that has been removed can be used and be put in an efficient way so that they can enjoy the future. Was it not what they told us?
It looks like you're saying, Kenneth, it looks like you're saying put a stop to loans for now and let's focus on servicing our debt. We just need to get it right. Is that your thought? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not even talking about servicing the debt anymore.
Okay.
I'm talking about producing something from the country that we can export, that can increase our efforts. We are not producing anything. We are not doing anything. We are not exporting so much in this country. There are some states that have never exported at all, and they have all the mineral resources. So why taking this loan where we cannot even produce anything? So which means we are depending on the loan. That is why we are not producing. Since let's just put a halt on this thing and say, okay, for some time we are not going to get any loan. Let's see how much we can do inwards. So that is what I'm saying.
All right. Thank you so much for your thought. But you said earlier that there's really nothing wrong in taking loans. It's just the utilization of these loans. Kenneth is saying for now, no more loans. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't totally agree with him.
Tell us why.
Because I think that if there's any country that doesn't take loan, you understand. So taking loan is not the issue, but the issue is the loan we are taking. What are we using it for? And I don't know if you get me. What are we using the loan for? You see, like he rightly said, Nigeria is not exporting anything as of now. That is well known. We are not producing anything. I think if we can take loan to maybe build industries and maybe improve on our
production and manufacturing,
fine, it will be better. Especially our refinery. If we can get loan and make sure that this refinery gets working.
But we have been investing in the refinery all this while. Do we keep investing in the same refinery we have been investing in?
Like I said earlier, that is where the problem is, in the expenditure. That is where the problem lies. If we can get loans and make sure that the loan we get is being utilized for the reason why it is.
So what happens to the other ones that we have been taking that were not properly utilized? Do we just take our eyes off that and this time, continue taking more while we're servicing the old ones? That what we're saying?
No, I think the government need to do more.
Oh, you're about to change your mind now?
No, I'm not changing my mind.
Oh, okay.
I'm not changing my mind.
Okay.
The one that have already been collected that was not really utilized, I think the government really have to come up and make sure that those loans that were collected that were not really utilized, they need to make sure that those persons involved need to be brought to book.
Oh, all right, I held accountable. Yes. Okay, yes. Talking about bringing people to book, we have a commission that does that, and when you talk about that commission, you're thinking about the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Well, EFCC has arrested Ifeanyi Okowa, the former governor of Delta State, on allegations of embezzling approximately 1.3 trillion naira. The fund in question was part of the 13% derivation fund allocation for oil-producing states and was allegedly misappropriated between 2015 and 2023. Sources report that Okowa was taken into custody in Port Harcourt after he responded responded to an EFCC summon. Additionally, he is under investigation for another alleged misuse of 40 billion naira to invest in UTM floating liquefied natural gas, a project by UTM Offshore Limited in Akwa Ibom. Now, EFCC investigators are also examining his alleged acquisition of properties in Abuja, in Asaba, using misappropriated funds. Okowa, who governed Delta State from 2015 until May 2023, was succeeded by Sheriff, the current governor of Delta State. The EFCC is currently holding him in Port Harcourt as the probe continues. Kenneth, I'll bring you in on this story first off. You've heard of all the amounts that he is being probed for at the moment.
Hi. When they mention this kind of amount, people will question, is this real? Is this true? Are they just bringing these figures out? Because how can somebody divert 1.3 trillion, then another one 40 billion? And we have people that struggling with
Okay, Kenneth, your network is no longer friendly at the moment. Maybe there's something you want to say that your network is, but we'll give you some time to get it right. Once your network is back, we'll bring you back on that conversation. So I'll just take my guest here on that one. Let's hear your views, Alerichi.
Okay, the version of 1.3 trillion and 40 billion.
Yes, please.
When I came across this story, I just laughed.
Why?
And the reason why I laugh, is because we have had a series of this kind of allegedly diversion from past governors of states. It's very commendable that the EFCC had the courage to invite him, and also is very commendable on the side of Okowa for also honoring the invitation of the EFCC. But I think generally, the EFCC, I don't know if they just want to put their names on the pages of newspaper, because we have seen time and time over time where they invite persons for this kind of questioning, and at the end of the day, nothing comes out of the investigation. That's my fear. That's the fear that at the end of the day, nothing will really come out. You see, EFCC are being like a toothless bulldog. They know how to bark, but at the end of the day, they can't even bite. That is my fear. So I think, but if they should do a thorough job, and has been alleged, if it is true that he really diverted this thing, I think they should bring him to book and should just face the warrant, because this is these are taxpayers' money. This money are supposed to be used for the development of better state. So I think the EFCC should do a thorough job, but my position is that at the end of the day, I don't think anything will.
Sometimes when you hear some governors or some leaders, diverting funds allegedly, and you go to these states or these communities, you begin to ask questions like, see the people that really need this money or the people who really have this money, okay? And then you see the states that they are in. It begs the question, what is really happening? And you made a statement that caught my attention. I just didn't want to cut your analysis. I wanted you to finish up when you said you are happy that the EFCC had the courage to really approach Okoa, and I'm wondering if that is their responsibility. Are there cases where they do not have, are there certain people they don't have the courage to approach? Are there times when we hear that the EFCC could not approach a certain kind of person? I'm just trying to get the reason for that statement that you made. Yes.
Okay. We have been in this country, and we know what has been going on.
Okay.
Just like the previous administration in Rivers State, let me use that for example. Right on the person of Right on the former governor of Rivers State. There was a panel that was set up by the immediate past governor in the person of Chief Barrister E.M. Wike. You understand? He opened the probe into the activity that transpired in Rivers State. I think a white paper was brought out, and petitions were also written when he stood for screening during his ministerial appointment. You see, the previous government wrote petitions to EFCC, and at the end of the day, EFCC didn't have the courage.
That's what you think, that them not making a move, as we heard, is them not having the courage to.
Yes.
I don't know if Kenneth is back. But if Kenneth is back, you were saying something that we could not hear earlier. So if you could start over so we get your analysis on this story.
Yeah, I was saying, when these people in this country, just like you said, the actual persons that need this money are there on the street. So if you go to their states, you see that their state is even not is underdeveloped. You see, so they are suffering. So I wonder, they don't really actually move around the state. Don't stay there to serve the people. And then live in another different world. I feel this is just a thing of the conscience. So I don't know. I feel really what has happened along the line, because this money is just so too much. Some people were even saying that it was used for campaign. During his presidential bid article. So one will begin to wonder, okay, these men, they divert this money so they can use it for politics, and maybe come to buy votes, give these people 1,000 during the election day, so that they can vote for them again. Is it actually what we want? So this might just be the mindset behind this whole diversion and stealing. Okay, so what I'm saying is that let's actually the reason why people do these things. See that why is it coming from? I don't want to from where to where, because this money is just too much. And I wonder, what would someone be doing with this so amount of money? 40 billion, 1.3 trillion. It's just way too much.
Okay, Kenneth, let me come in here. Let me come in here. Sorry, before you continue, you continue your analysis. But we have a lot of people, even young people these days, who talk about getting involved in politics, and then the first thing they're thinking of is how much they can divert, how much they can gather before they leave office. So this is looking like a general mindset. Not general, not in the sense that every single person has it, but general in the sense that a lot of people have this mind. I don't know if you've had conversations with people who are aspiring to be politicians, who are aspiring to get involved in politics. This is what they are telling you. How, when they get there, what they would do. Sometimes when we analyze stories like this, you hear people say, when I get there, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'll take as much as my people will be waiting for me. Things like that. It begs the question, how did we even get here? How do we come out of this? You talked about the EFCC, and my guest in studio, Alerichi, has talked about the EFCC not being courageous to approach certain people. Could this be one of the issues that we are having? Is this something that you think is also a problem that you think is actually also happening? All right, Kenneth, you can continue now.
Okay, you know, when young persons are actually saying these things that, oh, when they get into politics, they are going to steal, do this, divert money, it's because they feel politics is a lucrative business. Yes, they feel it's something that when you get a lot of money. But I tell them, what I do tell them is that politics is a calling, leadership is a calling. It's a calling. You are called to serve the people. Yes, and the Bible says whoever is going to serve, whoever is going to be the leader of people should be a servant leader. So we have two types of leaders. We have the transactional leaders and we have the transformational leaders. So I believe we should have this mindset of being a transformational leader. We are all in this together. We are all doing this together. Whatever comes, we are going to share in the benefits and even in the woes. Okay? So what I'm saying is not out of place. Yes, but let us start telling these people that, see, politics is not a business where you come and try to loot funds, divert money meant for the public servant, the public, and the roads construction and all that. No, we should start disabusing their minds from there. Okay, so the EFCC should do more. Like we said, some of these people just go scot-free. Okay, yes, it has been brought to book, right? They are doing the investigation. Let us see through that this money is being recovered. Yes, when these monies are being recovered, we should now know where exactly they are being going into, where they are putting this money into. Let us see it. Let us see it in the lives of the people. Let us see it in the state of the people. Let us see it in the well-being of the people. Because sometimes when they recover this money, because Abacha loot, okay, come to think of it, I just remember the Abacha loot. You have been recovering money from Abacha with the foreign banks, Switzerland and all that. They have been returning monies to Nigeria that they said Abacha looted. Sometimes we see it on the newspaper. So where are these monies going into? These are the questions we should ask. So these younger ones, they are seeing these things, they are seeing all these things playing out. And most of them are not really happy. They are following the footsteps of these people. So let us know that as leaders, we have a sacred calling. It's a very big one. The task is on us to make sure that we transform the society. And we cannot do that when we start diverting funds, doing the reckless abandon. Look at the amount that they are calling. And someone cannot afford a meal per day. It's just too much. So everybody should sit up. The EFCC is a good one. Kudos, I know. But let it not be another witchcraft, you know, that they will say because it's PDP. Why are they not going for APC members? I don't want to go into that discussion, but let them make sure that everybody that has stolen a penny is brought to book. And let us see that these monies are recovered. Every bit of them all are recovered and be put in good use. Thank you.
All right, let me bring you in on that question I asked Kenneth about the mindset that a lot of Nigerians have concerning leadership and politics.
So I would want you to repeat the question.
Okay. Concerning leadership and politics, where people feel like that's a place where they can go and get rich.
Okay. You know, too many things have been playing out in this country. You see, the younger ones now have this mindset and orientation that when they get into politics, they have the opportunity to amass wealth for themselves because of what is happening as of now. You see, we have seen some persons who have not been into any business. We have seen some persons who have not worked literally anywhere. You see, when they get into politics, you see them amassing wealth for themselves. So I think it has sent a very wrong signal to the youth, and they feel that okay, politics is just a conduit pipe where they will just come and suck, you know, get themselves rich and gather for the future. But I think they should have a rethink and a reorientation, because what we are talking about is about the well-being of Nigeria and Nigerians.
Well, all right, at this point, we'll take some time of just a very, very short break, and after that, we'll continue the conversation. Please stay with us. appreciate you for staying right here with us. Thank you. We'll move to our next story, which is on Nopeng's statement and the warning they've issued Nigerians concerning an unofficial group. And according to them, the unofficial group is claiming to represent oil and gas transporters and marketers. Nopeng emphasized that this group operates without legal authority, attempting to exploit Nigerians through misleading claims. The union statement, signed by National President William Aporeha and the Secretary General Afolabi Olawale, describes these individuals as failed rent seekers in the subsidy regime and irredeemable smugglers of petroleum products who are trying to regain financial benefits since the removal of the fuel subsidy. Nopeng clarifies that the only recognized associations in the oil and gas sector include the National Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, and the Depot and Petroleum Product Marketers Association Nigeria, DAPMA. They affirm that only Nopeng and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association, PENGASSEN, are legally recognized to represent oil and gas workers. Nopeng urged the public and government institutions to avoid dealings with unauthorized groups, reinforcing the importance of sticking to legitimate, established organizations for industry dealings. Earlier during the story, when I was going through it, they said that these people are just rent seekers who are trying to make some money off the subsidy removal. And it brings my attention to subsidy removal. Does it mean that there are certain people who are making money off subsidy removal? Does it mean that the legitimate people now are making money off subsidy removal, and that's why these people who allegedly are fake are coming in to also benefit from the removal of subsidy? Kenneth, I would like to bring you in on this story first.
Okay, yeah. From what you said, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Nopeng has done noble by saying, you know, sometimes we encounter some of these problems with the oil marketers, you know, coming to replace the prices of oil and all that. So if Nopeng has said they don't really know these oil marketers, that they are all identified people, and they are not dealing with them and all that, it's quite a good one. But Nopeng should also know that we are hoping and looking on them to ensure that we get prices of fuel at a very affordable rate. It should be reduced. So if the oil marketers are a problem, we are inflating the prices and they are trying to say they don't know them on what basis, I don't know. Let's understand their reasons very well, because I know some of these oil marketers, they have an association. Okay? And sometimes they tell you that they buy the high prices and they have to sell the high prices too. So let's really know, are there the problem? Why are we still having, I think the issue should be, why are we still being sold prices of 1,000? Some people buy 1,003 per liter, some buy 1,004, 1,512, 1,000. So let's know, why are these things still high and what are they doing? What is the this conversation that can help us. If these marketers are putting so let's know what basis, let's know what reasons, so that we can actually, you know, enjoy the dividend of the fuel subsidy.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. Talking about enjoying the dividends of the fuel subsidy. I don't know how much we have really been enjoying the dividends of fuel subsidy. Nigerians knew before the removal of fuel subsidy that there will be an increase when there's a removal of fuel subsidy. It's just that a lot of Nigerians never really thought it would get to where it is now. I remember then when we used to have callers who would say, even if they should take off the subsidy, when Nigerians were calling for the removal of subsidy, they should take off the subsidy, even if fuel is 500 naira, we will buy it. And at the moment, it's almost looking like 2 times or 3 times that particular price that we thought it would be when subsidy is taken off. Would you say that's a right step in the right direction, the removal of subsidy, even though it was called for by some Nigerians?
Okay, I think the removal of subsidy is a right step. Okay. In the right direction.
Why?
Personally speaking, but I think it came a bit too early. You know, the removal of subsidy came at a point where we don't have any sustainable availability of this petrol. You know, we didn't have a very working refinery. We didn't have a very working refinery. I thought, or I think that the removal of subsidy would have come when we have a working refinery, when the government have been able to put our refineries in place, both the Kaduna, Warri, and Port Harcourt refinery, where we can produce and export.
But the government told us the removal of subsidy was to prevent Nigeria from getting bankrupt.
So what has been the effect?
And I'm also asking that question, Kenneth. Well, subsidy was taken off to prevent Nigeria from getting bankrupt. But looking at where we are now, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Okay, Kenneth is off. We'll definitely have Kenneth back. I wanted to get his thought, because when he was giving his analysis, it sounded like he's also one of the Nigerians who feel like removal of subsidy was the right step in the right direction, which you also stated. But you're saying the refinery should have been fixed first. So does it mean that we would have kept, because the ideology that we were given was that we're wasting money on subsidy, and in order to save the country, subsidy was taken up. So does it mean we would have kept on wasting that money on subsidy, or spending, let's not say wasting now, does it mean we would have kept spending that money on subsidy? If the subsidy was taken off and we are where we are today, imagine it wasn't taken off, what would Nigeria's economy look like?
Okay, first of all, let me start from when the subsidy was actually removed. Going back to May 29th, when the president announced the removal of subsidy during his you know that we had a running budget where subsidy was appropriated for, and it hasn't we haven't completed that budget here before the subsidy was actually removed. So, like I said earlier, I think that we would have first of all continue with the subsidy while we fix our refineries, get them working first before any removal of subsidy.
Continue spending that money on subsidy, then the economy would have, according to what the FG has told us, gotten to a level that might have been worse than where we are today.
Where is the economy now?
Big question.
When we had subsidy, was the economy not better than what we have now, when the subsidy was actually removed?
But you are in agreement with the removal of the subsidy, just the timing you're talking about.
Yes.
So does it mean that even if it was done later, the effect would still not have been there on Nigerians?
If it was done later, I don't think the adverse effect we are seeing now would have been on Nigerians.
Because it doesn't even look like we want to get the refineries fixed anytime soon. It means subsidy payments will have continued until God knows when those refineries will finally be fixed.
It all depends on the government. If they have the willpower, to fix the refinery. So
you feel that has been the problem, them not having the willpower to fix the refinery?
Yes.
Even though monies have been appropriated, and
yes,
several times we have been given times at which the refinery will be functional.
They don't have the willpower.
All right. Let's move on to our next story for discussion. Okay, I can hear Kenneth. Is Kenneth back? All right, our next story is talking about the former vice president now. This story tickles my fancy somehow. I'll let you know how and why. The former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, has criticized President Bola Tinubu's administration for organizing a national prayer led by First Lady Oluremi Tinubu and the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu to address Nigeria's challenges. The event, organized by the National Prayer Forum, comes amidst economic hardships and ongoing debate over Tinubu's policies. Abubakar, responding to the administration's approach, argued on social media that effective solutions require more than prayer, advocating instead for comprehensive economic reforms. He contrasted that governance style which he claimed emphasized inclusive planning and gradual reforms with what he described as the trial and error nature of Tinubu's policies. Abubakar further criticized the administration's economic performance, noting that Nigeria's GDP growth has declined compared to past administrations. So a country in this state, would you not say it needs prayer? Kenneth, let's have your thoughts on the prayer approach, the religious approach towards governance by Tinubu's administration. Okay, seems like Kenneth's network is still shaky. Alerichi, let's get your thoughts.
Okay, I believe in prayers and the power of prayers. Okay, I don't think there's any religion that doesn't believe in prayer. But my concern is that even as the Holy Scripture have told us that sometimes when we pray without the leading of the Holy Spirit, we pray amiss. You understand? So I don't know the...
So you're saying they're about to pray without the leading of the Spirit? Is that what you are saying?
Because I don't really know the rationale behind holding this prayer.
What should be the right rationale behind holding the prayer?
Now, you see, they say that faith without work. The scripture says faith without work is what? Is dead. So I think at this time, at this point, I don't think it's just all about prayer. You understand? We really need to get down to work and to identify the issues and the challenges that is currently facing Nigeria. Just like I think Abubakar have stated, it's not all about coming with going to prayers. What are the challenges? We need to identify the problem of Nigeria and how to see how we can tackle these challenges headlong.
So you think our president does not understand the problem of Nigeria for him to have called for a national prayer?
Maybe he may, but it was not stated that.
We took a story earlier where you even said that you appreciate the fact that the president has highlighted the fact that Nigerians are in hardship at the moment. So a man who has said that, you think he doesn't know what what the challenge of the country is?
First, he acknowledged about the sufferings of Nigeria, but he did not state that. He did not state that steps. He did not state that steps in tackling those challenges. He only acknowledged that
on different occasions that has been done. The president has told us that this will happen, that will happen. Even the new ministers that were just being sworn in, we've heard that, okay, this is why it is being done. We need a better Nigeria and all of that. So do you think our challenge really the president not understanding what the problem of the country is? Is that the challenge we have as a nation?
Okay. The president might understand the problem of the country. He might understand the problem of the country, but we have not seen deliberate steps.
Okay.
We have not seen deliberate steps that have been taken by the president in trying to tackle these challenges.
Okay, I'll come back to you on what you think should be the deliberate steps, right, that you look out for as a Nigerian, that you want the government to take. But do we have Kenneth back on the line?
Yes.
Kenneth, what is your thought? Yes, what is your thought on this religious approach towards solving our economic issues in Nigeria?
First off, Nigeria is a religious country.
Okay.
We are more religious than people. So this is, to me, it's not surprising, it's not shocking. But I don't think that is the right approach, that is the right way to go. We should start producing something, we should go to work, but we should work, we should work. There should be enough work, there should be prayer is like grace, it's the grace of God. It gives you the boost, the moral boost, the spiritual fortification to go more. It gives you that energy, it gives you the power to create, to produce, to recreate. God said that He has given us the authority to go to the world, to multiply, to reproduce. So He has given us that power. So going back to you again and begging Father Lord, please come and help us to be a producing country. It's like we don't know what we are doing actually. What is affecting Nigeria is not witchcraft. It's not witchcraft. Nigeria doesn't need deliverance. We haven't done the work first. We haven't soiled our hands. We haven't made our hands to be dirty. Let's get to work. Let's start producing things. Prayer is good. No, please don't get me wrong. Prayer is very wonderful. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I pray every day. I ask Him to help me, to direct me. But as I'm praying, I'm going out to work. I'm asking Him to guide my steps. Help me to make the good decisions. Help me to meet the people that are following me. Help me to make the right decisions. If we start now to begin this national prayer, I think we have been praying in my state. Yes, the first lady of my state, Enugu State, they pray, it's like they pray once in every week. Women, they gather at Opera Square to pray. So prayer is good, but let's see the commensurate work. Let's see the commensurate effort that they are putting into these things. Because I believe prayer is like an embodiment, like the grace, like the power infused into you by God. If you pray to God, God will give you the grace, God will give you the spiritual fortification, He will give you the wisdom. So now it's not left for you now to now use that wisdom and do something. Don't do anything, if you don't produce anything from the grace He has earlier given you, and you are coming back to asking for more, God will not answer you. I don't think our God is an author of confusion. So we should go back.
Okay, let me come in here. From what? Okay. From what Kenneth is saying, it looks like, yes, okay. From what you're saying, it looks like you're still in line with what Elerichi said concerning taking deliberate steps. So let's talk about those deliberate steps now that we expect the government to make.
Yes, Nigeria, we have the population of over 250 million, right? It's a big one. Number one, that is our strength, and again, it's our challenge. If we can ask God for wisdom, God, this is the number of persons that we are living in the states. And now we have ethnic groups, we have religious differences, we are a type of different languages. God, give us wisdom. Even Solomon in the Bible does not want to pray for. We didn't pray that God should go and ask God for wisdom. So I think what we should ask God is wisdom, and let that wisdom be seen in the way the different people of different tribes are being treated. Let everybody think that they are equal. Let not religion be marginalized. Okay? Let some people don't feel that okay, drawing resources from their state. Because yet their state is being neglected, abandoned. Okay? So let everybody feel the same impact that they're feeling. Let them feel belonging to a country, but then to also seek to the average Nigerian youth is not happy with the road things are going. They feel they are not being carried along. Even the women that the youth are in the same category. So we are not even in one accountants. I can even quote the Bible to show that I studied the Bible. Amos 3:3. Say if we are not in one accountants, if we are not in agreement, our prayer will not stand.
All right. Thank you.
That God should bless us. Other will be praying, other things. You see that we are not heading the same way. And that is what really destroyed the Tower of Babel. They wanted God to destroy their languages to ensure that they don't understand.
All right, Kenneth, thank you so much.
To understand ourselves. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your thoughts on that one. But the president doesn't always call for this. All right, this is not something that we hear in the news every time that the president is calling for national prayer. So as far as you have said, there's a place for prayer and there's also the place for work. It's just that we need to balance both, and that's back to what Alerichi said. And as much as I want to come back to you concerning deliberate steps, we have to move to the next story because time is not on our side. We have reports that the controversial internet personality Idris Okuneye, also known as Bobrisky, has left Nigeria temporarily to focus on his mental health. He expressed frustration over travel challenges he faced from security agencies, sharing that his attempts to leave the country were disrupted multiple times, causing him to buy 3 business class tickets with only 1 successful trip. Following his post, Bobrisky clarified that the airline involved was not at fault but requested a refund for the unused tickets. This move comes after a recent encounter with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), where he was stopped from traveling and later questioned on alleged money laundering charges. Bobrisky denied bribery claims and was released on bail. Addressing critics on social media about his decision to leave, he made a lot of comments like, "See you, bye, see you soon, I'm leaving Nigeria, you know, I have God, God is on my side, God has made this possible, despite all my enemies that tried to stop me," and comments like that he made on social media. Alarichi, let's bring you in on this conversation. First off, there have been legal issues that are on with Bobrisky. He has tried to leave Nigeria on different occasions and he was brought back. And when you look at the scenario when he was found trying to leave Nigeria, some Nigerians feel like he was trying to escape, not answering, you know, not heeding to the call of the EFCC first, just trying to leave the country. But now that has happened, we've been told he has been given bail and he's left Nigeria.
Okay, this story comes with mixed feelings and mixed
reactions. Okay.
Reactions. Okay. I think, like Bobrisky said, I think he really needs that mental.
Oh, really?
Rest.
Why do you say so?
Because I've been involved in too many
scandals
lately. Okay, I think he really needs that rest. But resting them aside the country is what he needs at this point. Let us go back from what really transpired before he was arrested. You know that Bobrisky was arrested because of naira abuse. Then he was arrested, detained and convicted for 6 months. Okay. During his conviction, there has been bribery allegation claims here and there. You know, even when he tried to in quote flee from the country, he was intercepted and arrested at Seme border. Then he was brought back. So for me, I think Bobrisky really doesn't have to leave the country at this point in time.
Okay, but he has already. But let's get Kenneth's thoughts on this one. Kenneth.
Yes, entertainment is like you are getting a comic relief from the whole thing. Some people will say it's like structure. The important thing is entertainment is always going to stay with us. But this can live in Nigeria, well, I don't think if it affects the major national issue they are talking about, but that is his own personal business and dealing. Anybody could leave. But if I wanted to say she, but if he has a legal case that he needs to attend to in Nigeria, please, he should actually do it because he owes it to us, to the Nigerian government, to actually settle whatever case he has before him. But I think everybody has freedom of movement to leave. But he was complaining about the money that he paid, about 9.8 million naira to get his. And yes, if there's bill, because he was saying that the embassy or the immigration they should return her the money that she has spent, trying to gain the visa outside Nigeria. So please, they should accord that every privilege every Nigerian has. But then you should also know that he's answerable to Nigerians. And
right.
He has a case with the EFCC. Clear that out. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your thoughts on that one, Kenneth. Even though you're wondering the connection with what is going on in Nigeria currently, remember the charges that were leveled against him, down to the money laundering charge. him not going in for that, bribing EFCC officials according to the voice recording that we heard, and all of those things, and talking about him not staying in this prison, or should we say correctional center, like some other Nigerians, you know, are put in there. Talking about the minors now that we're having the president say that they should be released. So all of these things already show you that if there are ills in the society, it definitely will affect the society. It doesn't matter who is involved. So at that point, as long as you're involved in the national, that's it. That's now a national issue. It's not just limited to his personal life. All right. So that's why when they say that Bobrisky leaves Nigeria, it calls for attention of everyone who have been interested in that case. But we appreciate you, Alerichi, for joining us on the show today.
It's a privilege.
Yes.
So thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you, Kenneth, for joining us also.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Big thanks to you, our viewer, for being part of this conversation. Wouldn't have been possible without you. This is where we got to wrap things up. We are open for advert placement, news and events coverage, personality, society, and political interviews. Stay connected with us on all of our ATN socials: Facebook, YouTube, we are Atlantic Television Network; Instagram, TikTok, we are Atlantic TV Network 1; and X, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website at www.atlanticnetwork.tv. My name is Enidoye Jackson. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Coming up next is Open Conversation. Don't go anywhere.